Hey everyone, Peter Barber here, professional opera singer and music producer, and we are back with Maphra's latest song. This is Unethical, originally by Fozia. Really wonderful approach. Really awesome to hear her in overall sort of a new style and approach to her singing. Really, I mean, there's so many good things to talk about. Really enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoy it as well, and I will see you after. D minor.
Vertigo in your arms. 1 second you hate me, then it's false alarm. That's just what you always do every time. Watch me when I break and say it's paradise. Set my body aflame. Lock me up and close the door when it rains. Maybe it's my fault I put you up so high. Darling, I think you can make the devil cry.
So she's getting down to F3s, almost down to that low D. And Fozia actually has quite a low voice as well. Not as dark as Maphra's voice, but I just checked out the original. I'd heard it once before. I just checked that again just to kind of get a roadmap. So I have an idea about, you know, what differences that Maphra might use when she's approaching it in this vocal cover. They both have low voices though, but Maphra's is noticeably darker. She has a remarkably dark voice. I just did a video for the Emptiness Machine where, you know, she's singing both Mike and Emily's parts, getting that full range. And it's really a remarkable testament to how low she can sing and how high she can carry up in the distorted belting. Anyway, I digress. This is absolutely wonderful. I love how there's very short moments where she's allowing vibrato to come in through the voice. You might call that a shimmer on the voice because it's just for a second and it's pretty fast. But yeah, we just get this wonderful darkness and gravity. You know, and I think this is a vocal cover, so this is the original instrumentation for Fozia's song, right? It's not a new arrangement. It's not a twist on that. It's just really just Maphra's vocal take on it.
Vertigo in your arms. 1 second you hate me, then it's false alarm. That's just
See the second to last note, she's allowing vibrato. Da 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 dum. Ba da 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 dum. Just before that last note. Because that's really, you know, outside of the sort of classical bel canto singing tradition, which is what I have my whole background in as an opera singer, you don't want to be vibrating on every note. It would be odd in a pop setting, anything outside of opera, really, to have vibrato all the time on every note. But to do it tastefully and to be able to inject vibrato into a phrase adds a lot to it. So we get it here, and I've commented on Maphra's vibrato in the past and how she can really turn it on and off very skillfully. And we get it here to where there's a note that's just a little bit longer. Okay, now that's enough time to put a little shimmer into that note. It adds a little extra something.
vertigo in your arms. 1 second you hate me, then it's false alarm. That's just what you always do every time. Watch me when I break and say it's paradise.
So I'm doing an octave down as a bass singer. But the male and female voice types are, you know, roughly, it's not perfect, right? But the lower end in pure chest voice, approximately an octave difference. So if you hear Maphra singing down to this one, this F, that's like me singing down in this F, which is in the bass range. So if a female vocalist is comfortably operating down in that low F, in Emptiness Machine, we got all the way down to the low D, which is extremely low, right? That's getting way down in the bass range for a male voice type. To be able to be comfortable and resonant and consistent down there, it's a low voice type, period. And so that's how you can tell Fozia as well has a low voice, is because she also sings down to those what would call low Fs for a female vocalist. And it sounds great. It sounds great. It maintains a nice connection. You know, it's not going into vocal fry or anything like that. It's great stuff. It's rare, two rare voice types, really.
Watch me when I break and say it's paradise. Set my body aflame. Lock me up and close the door when it rains. Maybe it's my fault I put you up so high. Darling, I think you can make the devil cry. And I've been waiting for the sunset, waiting on a sorry, but you're never sorry, are you? No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch?
So cool. So we know what Maphra's voice can do, right? And we know the great separators between her voice and a voice like Fozia's. This is the distorted singing, right? Otherwise, like this whole ascension here throughout her range is very similar. You know, approach-wise, it's operating in the same registration, right? It starts very much in chest voice, and we get up and it gets lighter a bit at the top. There's a lot of intentional sort of head strategy resonance that Fozia brings in that I believe Maphra is just starting to tap into here in this chorus. So then, you know, what I would hope and expect from Maphra, and maybe she won't do this. You know, maybe this is a huge curveball. Maybe this is a big break from what we've heard from her. But I would expect at some point, maybe the final chorus, to her to just rip it in the full distortion, or at least put some, you know, little dashes of in there, add a little sauce to it. But so far, very similar. And I do think they have similar vocal ranges, not being very familiar with Fozia's voice and very much still getting familiar with Maphra's voice. But that's my read currently. And I'm not talking vocal color or other skill or vocal acrobatics and riffing and running. I don't really know about that yet, but just raw vocal range.
Sorry, but you're never sorry, are you?
Yeah.
No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch?
So that's a little riff there that I know Fozia does. It's a little different in Maphra's interpretation of it. And I don't really know. I really have no idea how well Maphra's voice moves. I don't know if she can riff. Fozia, I believe, is particularly good at riffing from the little bit I've heard. And I would not be surprised. Maphra has a heavier voice. It's a different kind of voice. Vocal range, I think, similar, but it is obviously a different type of voice when you really break it down. And some voices don't move well, and you can train that up to a certain point, right? But someone who's like absolutely wicked at riffing and running all the really fast notes, if someone naturally is just really not good at that, you can't train yourself to be like the best riffer. You can definitely get a lot better, but there is some natural ability, natural affinity. The environment you grew up in, the kind of stuff you sang growing up is very important. That all factors in.
And on a sorry, but you're never sorry, are you? No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch while I'm breaking all my bones, trying to hold you close, cut my head right out of my body, tearing off my skin just to let you in. Isn't it a bit unethical?
So this is getting up to that high D. This is the same high note that she approached in the Emptiness Machine, and this is you couldn't have a more different vocal technique. This is entirely head voice. So you get that breathy sound. It's basically only the edges of the vocal folds, the mucosal membranes are coming together. It's a lighter sound. It's a breathier sound in this case, as opposed to the distorted belt and Emptiness Machine is chest connection with a bunch of distortion, much more intense. A lot of more fleshy bits in your vocal tract are whacking together to create those distorted sounds. So this is super different, and this is how Fozia approaches it as well. She just lets her voice naturally go, you know, where it wants to go. And in this case, because a D5 above tenor high C is very high, even for a trained female vocalist, that's high to connect in chest voice. Most trained female vocalists can, but it's still high. It's not, no one's doing it super easily, really. So it's still, it's high in the chest voice. It is a very much lighter mechanism, and same approach as Fozia as far as I can tell.
Isn't it
You can tell how comfortable her voice gets going into that low middle and low chest voice, because she comes out of that head voice and da 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 da. Those lower notes she's singing really kind of, they really fill out. It's like she gets more comfortable going down there. It's like closer to like her, if she were just going to open her mouth and sing a note, you know, it'd be in that lower middle range, most likely. That's where her voice sits.
Got me on my knees. Have you any mercy every time you hurt me, baby?
Right?
Tell me, have I not given you enough? If you ever love me, let me go. I don't know what it is. Got me wrapped around your cold fingertips. Maybe it's my fault I can't walk away. Maybe I just started feeling a little shame.
Little ascending riff up there. Don't remember if that's in the original. Like I said, I've only heard it once, I believe, once or twice. Very similar vocal approach to the very first verse we heard. Very much akin to the original as far as I remember. Nothing really new to report here. Just, you know, this is wonderful singing in this lower, more intimate approach from Maphra here, and you know, very fitting for where we're at in the song, right? We don't want to be blasting away at the top of the second verse and we've got nowhere to go.
Got me wrapped around your cold fingertips. Maybe it's my fault I can't walk away. Maybe I just started feeling a little shame.
Oh, see, like really, there's like a frown in the sound, and it's amazing how much a facial expression can actually change the sound. And humans, we're so good at pattern recognition in human voice. Obviously, facial expressions. That's like what we're built to really recognize. Any sounds and sights related to the human is what we're most keyed into. And so, if you just hear a recording, you're very likely, even if you're not an experienced listener and you're not a music major or whatever, you don't need all the accolades or anything like that. You'll probably be able to hear when a singer is making a certain facial expression, especially like a smile. If you put a smile on the sound, it just completely changes the sound. And it's subtle, you know, it's subtle, but for us, for humans, it's easier than you might think to identify. And here from Maphra, we get more of like there's more of a scowl. It's a very, you know, this is a very powerful, kind of dark, emotional song. And the facial expressions want to reflect that, right? And the facial expressions really do help color the sound in a subtle, nuanced way that actually really does help capture the performance.
Your cold fingertips. Maybe it's my fault I can't walk away. Maybe I just started feeling a little shame. Oh, I've been waiting on the sunset, waiting on a sorry, but you're never sorry, are you?
You catch her going like into this sort of a light upper chest approach, and then I'm obviously all in my falsetto right now because this would be very high for me, and you do not want to hear me sing up there. She goes from a lighter chest mechanism, maybe even some kind of mix, up into a very obvious head voice where it gets breathier. That's when the thyroarynoid muscles of the vocal folds are no longer involved. Like I said earlier, it's the mucosal membrane. And you can get very, very crisp, perfect vocal fold closure in that register. That's what female opera singers train to do when they're singing very high. It's just with the edges of their vocal folds, but it's perfect vocal fold closure. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Absolute tone. Absolute tone. If you don't train that register, then you're very likely to be somewhat breathy up there, which in this case for this song actually works better, right? It would actually be odd if the vocal fold closure was like perfect and there was just a pure tone up there. The breathiness really adds a lot to this sound. But all to say, most female singers outside of the opera world will get a little breathier when they go into their head voices, because you have to train it as much as you train the rest of your voice, and it's just not used as much. It's simply just not used as much in any non-classical music, really.
Maybe it's my fault I can't walk away. Maybe I just started feeling a little shame. sunset, waiting on a sorry, but you're never sorry, are you? No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch while I'm breaking all my bones, trying to hold you close? Come on, right out my body, tearing off my skin just to let you in. Isn't it a bit unethical?
One vocal thing that Maphra does differently from Fozia is she sometimes will reattack the moving notes. Say there's more than one note on the same single word vowel, like hope. Hope, hope. Maphra will sometimes go hope, hope. She'll put an extra H to articulate and to accentuate the note change, which I don't think Fozia does. And I think I remember Maphra doing this on other songs as well. So I think it is part of her technique and how she approaches some moving notes on the same vowel, is re-articulating with H's. She does it a couple times leading up to where I just stopped.
But you're never sorry, are you? No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch?
Wah, wah, wah. So there's wah, ha, and then kind of again, ha. So that's a couple, at least one like very obvious one, and two a more subtle one.
No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch while I'm breaking all my bones, trying to hold you close? Come on, right out my body.
Bahade instead of bade, bade, bahade, bahade. There's a little H before to articulate and re-accentuate the note, the upper note. Bahade. I stop. There's that. Must analyze. This is great stuff. It's a great vocal performance. You know, it's really like Fozia really smashed the songwriting on this. Something I was really loving about the original, which is also in this because it's the same instrumental, is the wonderful real live strings we get. We get real chamber orchestra and very, very clear live string players, which you don't always hear. And there are, industry grade samples, right? That are used, and that's fine. They're expensive. You got to pay a lot of money to have the best samples, and that's cool. That's fine. But there is always something almost untouchable. It's a very human thing when you hear live strings and there's a human behind it. There's nothing wrong with using samples. There's nothing wrong with using samples. Samples are wonderful, right? And you still have to write all the music yourself when you're using samples and know how to use the samples. But there's nothing like having live string players. So I love when I hear something in the mainstream that is really where the live strings or live instrumentation is really accentuated. We really get these wonderful attacking violins here in this section. And it just adds so much to the power of this vocal moment as well, which, of course, Maphra is just handling beautifully.
Tearing off my skin just to let you in. Isn't it a bit unethical? Got me on my knees, have any mercy every time you hurt me, baby. Tell me have I not given you enough? If you ever love me, let me go. Let me go. I'll let you go.
It's so sick. She's like, we're getting some. Let me go. Let me go. Starting on the B flat. So we're getting some B flats in chest voice, high B flats. And obviously there's more chest connection. There's more power in the vocals now than there was the first time we heard this in the first chorus. It's fitting. It's lining up right with the instrumentation and the orchestration and the arrangement behind her. It's all building together. So all that's left is the distortion. So we'll see.
I'm waiting on the sunset, waiting on a sorry, but you're never sorry, are you? No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch?
Come on.
I'm breaking all my bones, trying to hold you close. Come on, right out my body, tearing off my skin, just to let you in. It's not a bit unethical.
Yeah, dude. So you see, I'm just waiting for it. And it's what's so exciting about Maphra's voice. I said this, I think during the Emptiness Machine, where when she's singing beautifully and calmly, especially in her lower range, or she's floating in these high notes, it's like the water. You're like looking at a lake, and the water's perfectly smooth, but there's a monster. There's a lake monster that could burst out at any point. That's how I feel about her distortion, because not only her voice is very beautiful, and but she can go into these heavy distortions, and her voice itself is particularly heavy, even for a female vocalist that does distorted singing, because her voice is lower and darker naturally, and that adds to that kind of heaviness. So it's just monster out of the water. And so when it gets closer, it's like you start seeing like ripples. You start seeing like the water moving a little bit, and then and then she bursts out when the distortion finally hits it. It's so sick, so exciting.
But you're never sorry, are you? No, you don't even care. How can you stand and watch? I'm breaking all my bones.
Yes.
Trying to hold you close. Come on, right out my body, tearing off my skin, just to let you in. It's not a bit unethical.
Still very, very smart singing though, right? She's not just letting it rip, which, that might be too much contrast from the previous chorus. So if she had gone from the very clean, light singing into full on, like Emptiness Machine level distorted belting, right? But instead it's flavoring it. It's picking and choosing which notes to distort and which notes to keep singing cleanly, which in this performance very much feels right. It feels like her instincts are really spot on.
Just to let you in, it's not a bit unethical. Got me on my knees, have you
Maze.
see every time you hurt me, baby? Tell me I'm not giving you enough. If you ever owe me, let me go.
Oh my gosh. And also, even though I'm always nerding out about the vocals, I mean, what a wonderful emotional performance too, especially seeing in this final chorus, really, really digging into, what you would call the character in theater, right? Wonderful work. I wanted to flag a nice vowel modification point that I talk about sometimes, where relatively high in your range, or in your chest range, and then higher and higher in your head voice, you're going to want to opt to a more open vowel position. And there was a great example of this where we still knew what the word was, but the vowel was changed dramatically to get a better vocal sound, which at the end of the day is probably what's most important, especially when you're doing big, powerful singing. If you're singing low and intimate in your voice, then you can definitely nail the vowels and the lyrics and really honor that, because you can down there without sacrificing anything. When you're way up in your range, you gotta make some. It's a balance. You have to strike that balance. Back a little further, I think. Tearing off my skin. So skin's the word, but tearing off my skin, and you can see it, and it's not just it's not just tongue position, which has a lot to do with the vowel. It's actually, her mouth is just wide open on skin. Look at that. Skin, right? Because she's going to produce a hell of a sound on skin, and it's an important note in keeping the voice consistent. So instead of tearing off my skin, which might kind of shut everything down, tearing off my skin, right? And you get a nice, big, powerful sound on skin. Way better. Nays. Okay, thank you, Maphra, for being a poster child right now. Let me just listen to this one more time, gather my thoughts together. I hear people all the time on the internet when there's a singer that sings like out of tune, and they're like, oh, they're just being emotional or they're just connecting to the character. And I say, you can do that and still sing in tune and still sing well and have just as much emotion. And look at this. Look at this. Her voice is like cracking. Her voice, it looks like she's on the borderline of tears in this performance. She's very emotional, but the voice, the technique is still good. The voice is still in tune. And who is going to say this would be more emotional or more authentic if she were like singing out of tune or something? I don't buy that for a second. So thank you, Maphra, for demonstrating what I try to tell people. It's wonderful singing. It's locked in. It might have little voice cracks and things like that, but the performance is it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. See, it's still like there's an instability to it because of the emotions, but that doesn't make her sing out of tune, and it doesn't make her sing with bad technique. The technique is there. She's coloring it with emotion. So you might get a little voice crack, but there's like a through line of good singing. And it is doable. And yes, it's hard to do, right? If you're singing well, sometimes you're thinking too much about singing. I mean, I've done over 30 roles as a professional opera singer. I know what it's like to really want to nail the singing and have that get in the way of being vulnerable and whatever, but you can do both. And this is doing both. So it can be done. Anyone that says singing out of tune makes it more emotional, they can F off. So good. Nice low D from our cello. Yes. Great stuff. Great stuff from Maphra. Really cool. I think the amount of distortion she used is very tasteful and really just helped the song build in a nice way. It really complemented the backing instrumentation, orchestration, and arrangement wonderfully. Really cool to hear her do this. It's very different from the most recent analysis I did, which is for the Emptiness Machine. Really struck by this artist. Really love her voice, love her approach. Like I said in the first one I did, I love the presentation. It's so beautiful and polished. It's like exactly what you want to see in a vocal cover. And I like how she is properly advertising it as a vocal cover, like original instrumentation with new vocals, with Maphra's vocals. So a lot of great things. Only great things to say about this artist, truly. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something or gained appreciation. Thanks for being here and nerding out with me and joining me on where I plant my flags and which hills I die on, of which there are many in the music industry. You know, if you live in a world for 10, 15 years and you live and breathe music, you're going to have some things you you do not negotiate on. Like the being emotional and singing in tune is possible. Thank you, Maphra. Okay, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.